Alright, we've booted up VirtualBox. I have my tutorial ready, ArcoLinux.com, phase 5. I went for a UEFI choice this time. Depends, bias or UEFI. Let's make this bigger, Control F. Alright, and then we start typing. We say to the system, load my keys of BE Latin. Is it with a hyphen? I thought so. BE Latin 1. And suddenly I have AZERTY. Cool. Scrolling down, just reading the ones with shadow and blue for me. Time of the essence, that's it. Nothing more. And then set NTP equals true. That's done. Partitioning. We have to partition things. GPT, that's the one we've chosen. So UEFI is GPT, bias is DOS. Alright, that's the one. Free space. Meaning we need to make few things. This is in gigabytes. 500 megabytes is more than enough for a I need to have the type for a boot EFI system up there, and that's that. Then we could make a swap if we wanted to. Let's take 8 gigabytes, still 20 for the rest, and we tell to the system that that one is Linux swap, and all the rest is going to be our Linux file system. That's our idea. We can switch it around, Linux swap at the end, it doesn't really matter. Often it's just for convenience, and that you say 500 megabytes for FAT32 or EFI system, then you know the memory amount, let's say 8 gigabytes that you have of memory, then you take 8.8 to be able to hibernate, so 10% on top of what you have. Here it just doesn't matter, I mean it's just a VirtualBox, and the rest is then your root. Let's write this and say yes to the system. I hope that's correct. No, that's not correct. I need to type yes, otherwise I can do the work all over again. ls block. Do the check, quick block, 5 letters, and then you know, okay, I've cut my SDA in 3 pieces. That's basically what you see here. You have a pizza and you divide it into 3 pieces. Right. Scrolling down on the page until I find something blue. Here it is. We want to make our file system FAT32, which we say by this, and that's in device. Ooh, what's that? Wrong fingers. Blind typing is dangerous. SD1. Always check before you enter. Then we're gonna make a swap. Remember, that's number 2 for me now. Could be a number 3, doesn't matter. Really does not matter, as long as you keep it in your memory what it is. And then you say swap on device SDA2. That's working. And now, often I do in all the videos extension 4, right? But there is more. There is BFS, BTRFS, CRAMFS, exFAT, JFS, Minix, RiserFS. I'm gonna take something else today. I'm gonna take BTRFS, right? I'm gonna say device SDA3, take that one. So that's done. That's now formatted as a BTRFS, and in the past I always done the X2 thing. We're going to mount device SDA3. How it's formatted doesn't matter, it's just a hard disk piece. of your pie or your pizza, whatever you want to call it. It's now mounted. Inside, I want to make a mount boot. So I make a folder inside mount, right? And then I'm gonna make another one level down, and we're gonna mount that one. Device SDA1 inside the mount in the boot EFI. In that particular folder, I'm gonna mount partition 1. Strange, right? Piece of the pizza in our system. Then select the mirrors. Okay. Let's see how far they are located by me, from my country. Physically, always changes. So France is not that bad. Germany might be better. Uzbek is always the one that wins when I make a test. So Uzbek is number 3. That's the one I take because I know by heart that's gonna do the job just fine. The fastest around for me. Now we're gonna install lots of stuff. No, not by that, but via packstrap thing. Mount inside the folder mount. You're gonna put base and base development and Linux kernel and Linux firmware, please. And if I want to type something, I need nano. And off we go. What else? Scrolling down, FS tab is the next one. We need to generate our, well, our pizza basically, and all the pieces of our pizza. So the partitions of our system, of our hard disk, so that the machine knows, okay, SDA1 is there, SDA2 is there, SDA3 is there. And yes, you can have an SDA4 and SDA5, but don't make it too complex. Just an idea. Almost there. Let's generate a file system tab. Sometimes you can also already start typing. It's gonna complete itself, but just wait. You see it's already there. Tab. Yeah, cool. -u, not a underscore. And okay. Let's take care I don't make any typos. Inside mount etc fs tab. Recreate me everything you find now. So nano, this is an important bit, guys. Do this. See if what you get looks normal. Right? So this is the root. This is my boot EFI, and that's my swap. It looks normal. Control X. Scrolling down. Root. Okay. The face of the arch. Root. And we're inside. So we are now in our system. This is our future system. This will be our computer system. Time zones. -SF. That's not a minus. And then user, share, zone info, Europe, Brussels, and etc local time. And we're doing that with force. There's already something there. Now we are overwriting it. -F, remember that, sometimes you need to apply it. For instance, systemctl enable ITM, -F, force, because SDDM is there or GDM is there, then you do overwrite it. Oh yeah, no space. That's okay, cool. Going on, scrolling, locale. Okay, or English. I definitely want to have English. etc localization. Tab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, That's enough. And you look for this guy. English US, you'd have 8, so that's English for me. You take your language you like. And then you type locale gen, and the locale will be generated. Scrolling on. Echo language equals en underscore US dot, okay, dot UTF. There cannot be, it's for the whole video, of course, there can be no typos. That's what I do as well, right? And you can start all over again. So it pays off to compare the pages. That's that. .conf. Right. Always checking that it's okay. Cool. Host name. We're going for the shorter version. ArcoLinux. Whatever you type here, you type again later on. So that's a name. Can be Erica Dubois as well. So ArcoLinux, that's a name. Choose the name you like. And then nano etc hosts. And it's empty. And this is some bit of typing. Use the tab button. Local hosts. Okay. Like this. And then, all right. ArcoLinux local domain. ArcoLinux. So that's the name that's coming back. Okay, check, and again check. Control X, yes, save please. Thank you. Network configuration, maybe good idea. Pacman -s. Network manager. That's a software we like and we love. A way to connect with Wi-Fi and so on. But if we do not enable it, nothing will happen at all. And it's just a file. We don't want it to be a file, we want it to work. Watch out with the capital N and the capital M. You need 3 lines there. Without the 3 lines, no internet. Root password, fine. You want root to have a password? There it is. That's the password for root. Bootloader. Without something to boot the system, no joy, no fun whatsoever. We need grub, and since we are using an UEFI, the EFI boot manager as well, and a bit of a special line, a little longer. Target equals x86 underscore 64 minus EFI. And where's the EFI directory? So he knows where the files are. Equals boot EFI. Directory targets, should be okay. Finished. No error reported. That's how we like everything to be. If only life could be that simple, right? No error reported. Boot grub CFG. Enter. Cool. That's the lines we need to see. only do if you need this, right? So I'm looking at this line here. I am the person who has a bay in my computer system where I extract SSDs on the fly, actually, hot swap if I want, but of course don't do that, but I could, right? And you swap SSD, which means I can have 100 operating systems on one hardware machine. It's just swapping of an SSD. Now, if you want to do that, you need to do this as well. So I don't think I have made that thing a lot of times. It doesn't do any harm as well. So if you do the exercise, it's cool as well. But I've never shown it. I think, I don't know, can't recall. Probably did, right? But you make a extra directory and basically you rename a file. And how do you do that? By copying from here to here to here to that one needs to be renamed and well, copied and renamed to somewhere else. And that's all it is. And then you can swap your SSD as much as you like. Let's see. Boot UEFI, boot, looks good. Okay. Because we can't test it, right? It's a VirtualBox, so I can't test it here if it's working. The only thing we can do is just type properly. All right. Scrolling, reboot. Then it says to exit, which means we're out of the Arch root. We want to unmount. This has changed, this command has changed over time in the Arch Wiki installation. But now it's this. And the grub works, right? This is grub. Okay, fine. We're not there. We need to go for a next step, okay? Going for the next step, which is just the bottom of the page. Next step, you just scroll through the pages and now we're on from 5 till 6, okay? This part is still, well, in your TTY as they say. We are root and that's my password and we go on. AOR helpers, we can do that later. Opening up multilib, we can do that later. What I do like to have is a bash completion application. Notice we don't have to type sudo because we are sudo. We are the boss, we are root. So no sudo necessary at this point in time. This is a bit tricky in the sense that this is an easy way to make users, but it's a long way, right? -g users, -g audio video network. You can always keep using this line on any Linux system basically. Or fkill might be a little bit different, but basically it's gonna be very, if not 100% the same. Users, audio, all the groups, no spaces in between, no typos, and off we go. There is now a Eric created. Eric is here but does not have a password, but now he has a password. Now he has a password. I just reset my own password from root, I think. Anyway, password Eric is now, of course, a very complex password called Eric. Editor equals nano sudo go tap down, then you go back up and it's this line you need to have. Wheel all, Control X, yes, save, enter, and it's back. Time for an exit. Yep. All right, this time I'm Eric. Sudo pacman -s -u, and yes, we have internet. So that's my test to have internet. Okay, and scrolling down again, next step at the bottom of the page, and now we're going to get graphical. We need xorg -s xorg server xorg apps xorg init and xterm if you like, that kind of thing. That's a terminal for xorg, right? But sometimes it's the only thing when you get stranded in an well, graphical environment or something and say, oh my god, I don't have a terminal, but xterm is there. Yes, you're saved. It did happen to me. Let's scroll down. Graphical drivers we don't need on VirtualBox. There is NVIDIA, there is Intel, AMD. First I would say try without, see if that works, so the kernel finds your drivers for your hardware. And then, otherwise, well, you're in for a treat, because you can learn, that's wrong, LightDM. That's one thing, but without the rest, you can't have anything. So this one is really needed. The LightDM GTK greeter. The settings, that's not important. I mean, if you can't change the settings, so who cares, right? It's just a graphical user interface to go to etc/lightdm/lightdm.conf, basically. So that's not important. So you can skip that one if you want to. I'm gonna do that. And we're gonna enable the LightDM. That's important. If you don't see a line created symlink, you've done something wrong. You won't get anything graphical if you don't have something, an extra line there. And there is LightDM, there is SDDM, there is LXDM, and there is GDM. We're going for LightDM. Don't reboot, otherwise you'll have a graphical thing without anything behind it. Now I can choose Awesome, BSPWM, Budgie, Cinnamon, Deeping, GNOME, HRFSloopWM, i3WM, Mate, OpenBox, Plasma, Qtile, XFC, Xmonad, Ukui, Spectrum WM, WDWM, etc. I mean, this is up to you. What do you want behind our LightDM? First you get greeted. Who are you? Eric, password, Eric. You go in, then it's up to you. What would you like to boot up into, right? I rarely install Budgie, so I'm just thinking of the things I almost never install. So I'm going to install that one. Pacman -s. Something called Budgie Desktop. It's not a Lego block, it's a group of Lego blocks, and it's simple, right? You just have to remember one word, and the rest well, will follow. Now, if you go and have a look at ArchWiki Budgie, they will say maybe it's better you install also GNOME to have a complete feeling of a desktop, a complete environment to work on later. So you decide if you do that or not, because that's of course a lot of stuff that comes in as well. Take a look at all these applications. There are some good things in there, but there are also things in there as, oh god, do I need that, right? So that's the point of groups. It makes one's life easier. But of course, if you want to cherry pick, then a group is not a good idea. But it's that freedom that Linux provides, right? You are able to cherry pick. So I just chose one of these. Choosing is losing, right? Lots of desktops to choose from. We went for these two lines, and then we have in no time a free operating system on our VirtualBox, of course. The same process can be done, of course, on an SSD. Don't install it on hard disks anymore, guys. SSD is what makes your computer fast. An old machine of 8 years old will be a supercomputer once you've replaced your hard disk with an SSD, solid state disk. I'm gonna reboot. which means sudo reboot. Let's have some look and some fun. This is gonna be a standard Budgie thing, right? So an Arch Linux look. It's not gonna be an ArcoLinux look. It's not even a nice login, right? It's not a nice login. And this is what you get since we've installed actually two kind of desktops, GNOME and Budgie. Budgie is here ticked on, meaning this is Budgie. Yep, that's the look. Now a lot of things might be missing, right? This is what you get if you type in GNOME. We get all these elements, the GNOME clocks here, the maps here, the weather is here. And if you install Budgie without GNOME, then you see the difference, and that's the fun. First try install Budgie desktop without GNOME, have a look, and then you say, oh, I'm missing this, I'm missing that. Well, it's in the group. And it's always interesting to show you as well. Many people ask me these questions, and then I say, just type it. GNOME and then group, right? The name, Arch Linux, the name of the package, group details, voila, go and have a look. If you type in GNOME, this is what you get. GNOME boxes would be nice, but Epiphany, don't want Epiphany. Okay, cool, cheese, you know, webcam stuff. Baobab is good, is a cool thing. And so on, right? It's all very personal what applications you like or not like. Basically, it's all there. The information is on the internet. What's inside GNOME? That. What's inside Budgie desktop? Go and have a look. So there you go. My video is at an end. I have Arch Linux. It's of course not finished. Lots of things to do. Lots of elements to install. But from here on, it's just pick and choose and cherry pick and themes and icons and all that. Even a cursor, because it needs work, right? Maybe another thing, last thing I can do. Let's go for logout. Since there is also GNOME, you can have a thoughts of going to another one, and there are different versions. You can have a look, but GNOME is another choice. Since you have Budgie installed, you can have a look at GNOME as well. All right, have fun, guys. This is another installation for how to install Arch Linux the whole way, the A to Z thing. Let me end with that, if I still have it. I think I've closed it already. So ArcoLinuxD.com, another video for the all-in-one, right? All-in-one means I really start from the beginning, boot up and explain you everything until we have a system. How to install Arch Linux with BIOS, installing deeping, etc, etc, etc. All in one. This time I'm not gonna do the spices, so that's documented up here. So the spices means that you are going to install an application, and the application, with that application, you can install the ArcoLinux things. For Arch Linux users, ArcoLinux Spices application, install our ArcoLinux packages on any Arch Linux based distro. So little app, 5 buttons, done. And you have the possibility to install any of our packages from our repo. So that's super convenient. The bash RC is there, the aliases are there, lots of things that you might miss if you move to phase 5 and have an Arch Linux installation. All right, this time I'm really out. Bye.